Here at Scott Legal, we know the ins and outs of immigration. We are here to help you navigate the oftentimes complex road in achieving your immigration goals. We have new immigration videos every week. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and bell. You can also sign up for one of our webinars, or get a free immigration guide, by clicking the link below. This video goes over some tips and tricks for your marriage, green card interview. A green card interview is usually the last step in the marriage green card application process. It is an extremely important part of the application, during which the officer will evaluate whether the marriage is bona fide, and then make a decision whether you qualify for a green card.
My green card interview has been scheduled. What should I do?
Once your adjustment of status case is ready for an interview, you will receive an interview notice in the mail. The interview notice will contain important information such as the date and time of your interview. If you cannot attend the interview on that day or time, you should reach out to USCIS as soon as possible, and reschedule your interview. However, we generally recommend attending the scheduled interview, as it may take several weeks or months until you get a new appointment. Please note that for a marriage-based green card interview, your spouse will need to attend the interview as well. You'll need to bring all the documents that are listed on the interview notice to the interview, and some additional ones. Some typical documents that are listed on the notice are: the green card interview notice, government-issued photo ID, certified copy of marriage certificate, birth certificates of your children, your U.S. citizens or green card holder spouse's birth certificate, and evidence of U.S. citizenship, or evidence of green card status such as a passport, your birth certificate, your passport, EAD card, or any other immigration-related document, and updated financial information for the I-864 sponsor. You should review the interview notice in detail, as it may contain some additional documents you may need to bring to your interview. You should also assemble and print any additional documentation, showing that your marriage is bona fide, since you filed the green card petition. This may include recent photos of you and your spouse, jointly filed tax returns, lease signed by both of you, and evidence that you purchased property together, flight tickets showing that you took trips together, birth certificates of your children and evidence of pregnancy, 3 most recent bank statements from joint bank account, utility bills showing both your and your spouse's names. Bring the I-130 and I-485 petitions that were previously submitted to USCIS, and both you and your spouse should bring your passports.
2. If you have not submitted a medical exam with your initial petition, schedule a medical exam, and bring the sealed envelope to the interview.
If you haven't submitted a medical exam with your original green card petition, then you should schedule your medical exam as soon as possible, after you receive the interview notice. You can find a list of physicians that can complete the medical examination on the USCIS website. It is extremely important that you do not open the sealed envelope the physician gives you. You need to bring the sealed envelope to the interview.
3. Day of the interview.
On the day of the interview, come to the USCIS building. Generally, you should not come more than 15 minutes in advance, as you may not be allowed into the building. However, you should check the interview notice for more instructions. You will have to turn off your phone, and any electronic devices you have before the interview. The officer will then call you and your spouse to their office, and the interview will start. Generally, you and your spouse will be interviewed together, unless the officer starts to doubt the marriage is bona fide. If this happens, they can separate you and your spouse, and can question you separately to see if your answers match. This is not common, unless the officer has doubts that the relationship is bona fide. The officer can ask you questions about your immigration history, how and when you met your spouse, who proposed to who, plus where and when. What does your spouse do for a living? When did you get married? And the officer may ask some details about the wedding ceremony, when and where your honeymoon was, information about each other's family, what you usually do on weekdays and weekends, and what is your spouse's favorite cuisine, color, movie, etc. You can find some additional sample questions in the description box below. Please note that these are just some sample questions, and the officer can ask any question about your relationship. Additionally, the officer can ask you some of the security questions from the I-485 form, when you are under oath. If you have any criminal history, the officer will most likely ask some questions about this during the interview, and you should bring any police, court, or disposition documents you have about the arrest. If everything goes smoothly, and there are no issues, the interview is usually fairly short. The officer will usually tell you if the green card is approved, but sometimes the officer or the local USCIS office will need more time to approve the case. Generally, once you are notified that your green card is approved, you should receive it in the mail in a week or two. Once you receive your green card, it will serve as evidence of your authorization to work, and you can work for any employer in the US. To learn more, take a look at our resources in the description box below. You can also sign up for a free visa guide, any of our upcoming webinars, and Facebook groups. You can also schedule a consultation for a date and time that is best for you. We are here to help. You can contact us by calling 212-223-2964 or by sending us an email. We look forward to hearing from you.